7:25. A situation like this happened. Now we 80 years late, and everybody wondering what's up, and everybody already done left the YouTube. Like, now we 80 years late. What's good? Under Big Dogs is live again. Batman, welcome to the show.
Perfect timing.
And just like that, we got another edition of Under Big Dogs, another show where the people, the everyday sports fans, deliver the discussions, deliver the debates. They are the ones that lead the charge. This show is for the people. It was made for the people. We see the Super Bowl champs, New York Giants. Batman is in the building.
Repping today. He really repping today.
In the building. So
breaking news.
Oh, we know. We saw.
Breaking news.
We got the breaking news. Yeah, no, it's insane. It's some stuff to talk about. Instructions. Instructions on how to get in the show is on our IG, right? On our IG story. How to get in the show.
Also in the description of if you're watching if you're watching our YouTube right now, it's in the description of the video as well.
Yes, thank you. So what do we got? Let's start with the sports news for the day. Let's fill these people in on the news going around sports right now.
Yeah, so you haven't heard from us since Monday, so there's quite a few things happened over the course of the week. Stuff you might already know about, but stuff we're gonna cover anyway. So Jerry Jeudy, Denver Broncos wide receiver, got carted off with a hamstring injury yesterday. Doesn't seem to be as serious as we believe, thankfully. It sounds like he's just gonna miss a few games, and he should be good the rest of the season.
That's pretty serious. To not have an explosive play like that to start the year off.
No, it's definitely a big deal, but it could have been worse. Broncos fans
0-2 start, baby.
0-2 start. They'll be good the rest of for your NFC West, AFC West champion Denver Broncos, King.
Yeah, I know. It's like I picked them, and then their best receiver goes down. Like that. Like that's just not cool, man. I like that hurts. Can't lie. That hurts.
It's literally the kiss of death that was. Other NFL news. The Colts had gave Johnathan Taylor permission to seek a trade. I don't know if it's going to happen because of what the Colts are requiring of Johnathan Taylor to find a suitor for. That sounds like they want a first-round draft pick. I personally don't think that's too much. I think we value these draft picks too much. I think these owners value these draft picks way too much. I think if you could 100% know you got a caliber player like a Johnathan Taylor that you're not even going to have to worry about if he's a bust or not, why not go out and get him? He's still very young. So let's see. The Dolphins have been the closest so far, so that'll be really interesting. We're going to be talking about Johnathan Taylor a little bit later in the show, a more detailed discussion.
In the chat, MAWI says, Batman is back. It's going to be a great show. Thank you. Yeah, he is back. Yes, you see him. He's here.
I'm Batman.
Cardinals traded Isaiah Simmons to the Giants. That was a big thing for the Giants. Big news for the Giants. He has not been producing like the Cardinals have wanted him on defense, but
he didn't want to play for them. That's why.
Maybe a fresh start on the Giants. I mean, he's out of Penn State, right? Or he's out of Penn State?
No, he's out of Clemson.
Clemson. Oh, okay.
And he was, if you remember, he was that dude on Clemson. They picked him, I think, like 6 overall.
So the Giants Giants indeed got better. That's for sure. They indeed got better out of that. Jamal Adams activated off the PUP list. That's good news for Seattle. Looks like he'll be ready to go week 1. He had a really bad injury last year, so he's the best defensive player on that team, arguably. So one of the best safeties in the National Football League when healthy. So it'd be fun to see him back.
That's a baller. Let's welcome in everybody. Let's welcome in Ty Nation to the show. Ty Nation, thank you for joining. Go ahead, Christian.
Lakers giving Kobe his own statue on Star Plaza right outside Staples. So rest in peace, Kobe. I can't wait to see for that to be done.
Right, it was just his birthday. Man. Happy birthday!
Yeah, he would have been 40. He would have been 45. Crazy how time flies.
Which makes me feel definitely makes me feel a little old that Kobe would have been 45. That's kind of illy. But yeah, happy belated birthday! One of the best players to touch a rock, right?
Yeah. And last news before I get to the main source of news that just popped up, massive news, but FIBA World Cup starts this weekend, so make sure everybody you watching Team USA play. Happens every 4 years. Even if you're not a basketball fan, tune in. Tune in, support Team USA. They're very young and inexperienced this year, and just some good news about FIBA.
When does that start?
It starts, I think, tomorrow. Pretty sure it starts tomorrow. It's the exhibition games were last weekend. But now the tournament actually starts tomorrow. So tune into that. And some good news about FIBA. It looks like it's gaining more popularity with the stars of the NBA. 55 NBA players will be starring in FIBA this year. It's a FIBA record. So the most NBA players ever to play in the FIBA tournament. So that'll be fun to watch. And then the breaking news that just happened for my Niners. Trey Lance traded to the Dallas Cowboys for a 4th-round draft pick.
Jeez.
All I gotta say is yikes. I think it was way.
What do you gotta say about that? Touch on that.
I don't know. As a 49er fan, man, I understand the frustration with Trey Lance. I get the frustration as an owner, as a coach. Where you drafted him, he should have been more NFL ready. That was a mistake by the Niners. But way too fucking soon. We had Jordan Love over there in the
drop the F-bomb on that.
Yeah, I'm not happy about this. Man. We had Jordan Love sit behind Aaron Rodgers for like 3 or 4 years. Like, I don't see why they couldn't do the same with Trey Lance. There's no way they're sold on Brock Purdy that much. Like, he balled out last year. I think he's gonna continue to ball out, truthfully. But to trade him away at this point. Like, if you're really saying Sam Darnold is better than him, like, I guess so. But I think I saw enough out of that second preseason game where, hey, look, we got to keep this man around a little more. He just needs reps. Like, he simply just needs to play football. I don't like the move at all. I'm interested what you think about it, King.
I mean, if we just got to really look at it as a Kyle Shanahan blunder. He jumped out of his boots to go ahead and draft him, to give up all that draft capital to move up to draft him. He got a little too excited in that draft, and I guess mistakes happen to the best of them. But so as far as giving him up, I don't know if it was too soon, because honestly, if he was really that deal, if he was really the guy. He'll still be wearing, 49ers colors right now. That's kind of like just the truth, right? Like he just would. You don't give up on a player like that, and he's supposed to be really, really good. So I think I'm more looking at it from Dak Prescott's angle, like, yo, like what they trying, what they doing, Dak? I mean. Sheesh. I mean, that's a little nerve-wracking for Dak.
4th-round pick that's if we really go deep into it, like, you might as well keep him if you only get. In my opinion, you might as well keep him if you only get a 4th-round pick.
I mean, 4th round is good draft capital. Like that is.
The Niners you are right, because the Niners tend to pick well in the later rounds of drafts. So
that's just kind of crazy.
It is weird, but
offensive linemen, defensive linemen, stuff like that.
And they got Brock Purdy in the 7th round. George Kittle, I think, in the 4th.
Let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with Dak.
Yeah.
But all right.
Yeah, we get into the main topics of the show now. First topic of the day: Lonzo Ball sitting out an NBA season again this year.
What's the so Lonzo Ball sitting out
Yeah.
um
Get your.
for the entirety of another NBA season. What is the outlook now that we have years under our belt? What is the outlook, the overall outlook of the Ball brothers? You know, today, like how are y'all looking at that?
They was overrated from the beginning. Their father gave him more hype than he should. They should have had gotten. They didn't impress me at all playing in high school and college, whatever. They didn't impress me. I knew it was more hype of the father, and he brought attention to them. And it's sad because they weren't that good. Their son should have stayed in college and do at least 2 years, more than 3 to develop. They was overrated. It was overrated, but only through their father. They was overrated through their father. And they injury prone. Melo, please, man. Melo, come on.
They definitely injury prone.
Really? Come on. Injured out again. Then they try to do shit.
How do you feel about LaMelo, though? LaMelo's had a decent career so far, no?
A decent career?
Now LaMelo's been playing obviously the best of the three. Like he's been playing well. Absolutely. Like look at those numbers. You look at those numbers, those averages. Obviously, numbers can lie in this situation because those numbers do seem a little inflated, and it's because he's on a bad team, so he gets to shoot whenever he wants, do whatever he wants. But I'm interested to hear y'all take. I'm interested to hear. Go ahead, Batman. Probably wasn't finished.
Yeah. Melo, I mean, you always learn off your older brother mistakes. Always. So in like King said, he's on a bad team, so he could do him. And it's easy when you're on a bad team and you have no coach stopping you from doing whatever you want to do. But his older brother, come on, Lonzo, come on. I knew he was going to be a bust the way he's too slim, came in slim, young, slim, and he's just not that good. He's injury prone. Injury. So it's
Nation?
like,
do you got what's the outlook on the Ball brothers that now that we have years under our belt with the Ball brothers? What's your outlook now, brother?
prepared.
You heard, Ty Nation? We can't hear you, Nation. If you're talking, we can't hear you. Yep. Take your time. Take your time. No, we can't hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, there we go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Absolutely. What's good? Welcome to the show, Ty Nation. Welcome to the show. But yeah, overall outlook, brother. Overall outlook of the Ball brothers now that we got years under our belt with them.
I'm just gonna be honest. I disagree with Batman.
Let's go.
I disagree.
Okay.
I think that I mean I would say from Jello standpoint, I'm like I didn't think that he was very good even just to begin with, period. So I think he kind of just landed where he was supposed to land. G League, got a couple call ups, and then has pretty much phased out of the league. But Lonzo, like before Lonzo got hurt, like if y'all don't remember, the Chicago Bulls, like him, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, they was getting busy. They was getting busy in the East. And I think they was one of those teams that was very like scary, given them being healthy.
Nation, they or he?
What I'm saying is with him on the floor, they were getting busy because he was able to facilitate that offense at a very, very high level with DeMar DeRozan and with Zach LaVine on the floor. Like, I don't know if you remember, but Lonzo Ball was shooting about 40% from the 3 ball when
He
he
was
went
well.
when
He
he
was
when he went out with injury. So that team was looking very, very good and promising with a healthy Lonzo Ball on the floor. Like, he was definitely doing this thing. And I think with Melo, like, he's on a bad team, but Melo is he's a good basketball player, period.
The better
He is
basketball player.
he's
The
naturally
better.
just he might be better than Lonzo. What I'm saying is we just talking about the Ball brothers in general. I'm like, they're good basketball players. They're NBA basketball players, 1000%. It's yet to be seen how far LaMelo goes, just because he's playing with the Hornets. But being here in Charlotte, you can just see like you see game in, game out. Like, he's just a good basketball player.
Let me ask
Very,
you a question.
very, very talented. We already knew that he didn't play Gracie.
Ask him.
Do you think? So I think we could agree that they're good basketball players, but they were both drafted in the top 5, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yes, you are right about that. Lonzo Ball was taken number 2 and LaMelo number 3 overall.
where they were drafted, I feel like they are a disappointment.
Unachievers.
How do you feel about that?
Four?
No, I still feel like Lonzo may have been drafted high, but to me, he still had tremendous value. Like, he was shooting the ball better, going into that year right before he got injured, and as a true point guard, he did exactly what his job was just make the people around him better. He played defense. Like, he was a solid value player, and could have been a very good player on and could have been a very good player on a team that could have went deep in the playoffs had he been healthy. So I don't think that from a value standpoint, he might not be a franchise player where you draft somebody number 2, but I think he was still a very, very high value player. Like, I would want Lonzo Ball on my team had he not been very injury prone.
They could
I
have
would
been
take
Trey
Lonzo.
Lance. They could have been Trey Lance, right?
Why you put nobody's thinking about your 49ers right now. Go ahead.
But yeah, that's my take.
Mr. Rumor.
Ball brothers. I think the
That's
Ball
Rumor
brothers is good.
Okay, I mean, I like where you took that, because they're not scrubs. All right, they're not scrubs.
Yeah, they're definitely not scrubs.
Oh, they're not scrubs.
They're not
But
scrubs.
3 and 4,
Like you said, yeah. What you said, Batman?
3 and 4.
He was talking about their draft, like where they were drafted.
Oh, no, 2 and 3. 2 and 3. Lonzo went 2.
They drafted lower than Jordan. How about that one?
Jordan got picked 3, yeah.
Really?
I mean, look. They are NBA players. They are valuable. They are valuable NBA players. So that you could use that word like Ty used. He used the word valuable attached to their names. They are valuable pieces. They are. I'll even go a step further. They are starters in the NBA. They are starters. They're starters. No, they're starters. They're starters. Like they start on easily over 90% of NBA teams. Both of them.
90% of NBA teams are scrubs. Let's go there.
Nah, I don't agree with that. But I will say one of the things I think, even from a value add standpoint, and this is probably more specific about LaMelo than Lonzo, is the market value that he has, as far as being able to attract people to a franchise. Like, people are very excited to come and see LaMelo Ball play, and he has a lot of influence. So I think from that standpoint, even if you drafted him number 3 from just
Charlotte is making a lot of money because of that kid.
Yeah,
just off his social media presence is yes, huge.
1,000%. So I'm like, at number 3, at number 3, from a talent standpoint, I like LaMelo, and from like what he brings to the league from a culture standpoint, I think Melo's doing his thing.
I think Melo is still at that threshold of all right, you we gonna give you a little more time, young buck, like, because he won rookie of the year, and he's only going into his 4th year. He's 22 years old, like, so it's like, all right, you look good. Your averages right now, career averages, look at something like 18 points a game, 7 assists a game. So that's that's pretty good, honestly. So I'm not out on LaMelo, but what I will say is, though, with all that said, I am happy though for the Ball brothers in this retrospect. Their father really, like, is they're the reason why they are who they are. They're the reason why we know them. Like Batman said to start the show. Like, he got himself accustomed to how things are done on the internet and made them internet sensations. Like, he's flat out, like,
You think he put too much pressure on them, though?
Yeah, he put tons of pressure on them. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. But it's just utilizing social media, and what social media is, to get his sons the like, if you look, they're the most, if you look on their social media pages, they're at the bottom of the league as far as like best players in the league goes. However, at the top of the league as far as social media presence goes, like, that's insane. So it's just like, that comes from everything that happened in high school. And so, just from a winning in life standpoint, if you will, they doing real well. They doing real well. So all of it, you got to think about that aspect as well, aside from just on the court. That really is like, all right, they doing well. They doing well. That's
And
the
I
overall
and, and I think that they didn't, like, the pressure that we feel like LeVar put on them. They have not crumbled under the pressure. Like, Lonzo's been hurt. Like, that's just what it is. But they haven't crumbled under whatever the pressure is. And I mean, I guess it's yet to be seen to see what LaMelo does. If he gets in a place where he's successful and in a playoff atmosphere or something like that, to see
I
how
feel like
he
LaMelo's
shows
been
up.
more consistent than Lonzo, but
Yes.
in the
That's what I
play,
said.
in the play, Lonzo's been
Yeah.
very inconsistent.
What-
You see
what-
signs of it, and then there's other times where he looks lost out there. But LaMelo's been a really good NBA player so far in his career.
really good. No, I like his averages. I really do. Man. What we got? Any closing points on this? Remember, thank y'all, and we'll give anybody who's watching, thank you for watching, the chance to get in on this next topic. What is our next topic?
Where do you guys think the best landing spot for James Harden will be, and how much of an impact you think he'll have on that team?
Yeah, then that's the question, right? The real question is, after choosing the best landing, think about, like, where James Harden is at this point in his career. Like, what would be the best landing spot for someone at this, like, for James Harden at this point in his career? Like, what could a team that lands him like, actually realistically expect from him? So it's a two-parter. What's the best landing spot, and what could they actually expect out of him at this point in his career? Always let our guests go
It
first.
takes.
So
I was gonna
Nation,
say they might need a
Nation,
second. They might need a second. It's a hard. It's a lot to think about. I'll go just because I got a quick one, and I'll give them a second. I think the Lakers. I think we talked about the Lakers last year, and last week we said they're one piece away. They need a piece. The Lakers. He's not going to do much on that team. He'd come off the bench on that team. He really could. I don't know if that's what he wants to do. If he's looking to win a championship at this point in his career, go sit on the bench in the Lakers. He could run the whole second quarter.
Like
he can
he did
roll
with OKC.
He could run the whole second quarter and half of the third and half of the fourth.
finish the fourth.
Or that too.
And if he's going well, he'll finish the fourth. With LeBron, with David, AD, that I 100% agree.
Why not, Maui? Why isn't he the piece? Say in the comments.
They need one more player, not superstar or star, because he's at the ladder of his career. He's not like young guy anymore. He can still ball. And Gators 100% right, especially when he said come off the bench. He did it OKC. They went to the championship. They lost, but he came off the bench, and people recall that, and balled out when he came off the bench. And he finished most of the games. A lot of those games where OKC went to the championship. And Durant. So I agree.
Yeah. Okay. I agree. Well, MW in the chat said he's not the piece. He's not the piece. I want to know. Just she feels as though it's for anybody. She don't really believe in James Harden really anymore.
Marge W.
MVP, triple double, man. I mean, I understand where she's coming from. Definitely do, because I wouldn't want him on the Knicks, and I'm a high quality Knicks fan. Everybody know me as a straight up and down Knicks fan. Now, that being said, the Lakers would be smart. Do what Gator say, bring him off the bench. Bring him down to his level and say, you can ball, but I need you to anchor my second man team. Like King said, that the Lakers got a lot of role plays on their team. He'd be the king of the role plays for the Lakers role plays that they have. He'd be the anchor man for the role plays, second team coming out.
Wow. Inf Gray says in the chat, Harden to Lakers not a good move. Like at every team he went to, he messed up the team. I don't know if I could agree. I don't know if I could agree with I feel like Harden, obviously he still got basketball left in him for sure, but not obviously the James Harden that we know and he from Houston. He's not that guy no more, obviously.
Yeah,
But like they're saying and kind of alluding to, Batman Gator off the bench is not a horrible idea. Would he come off the bench? Probably not. Probably not.
Let me elaborate more on that too. James Harden makes everybody on the floor better. Like, he's looking to facilitate, so I think him working with the twos and the role players would be a good thing for him. We're not going to ask him to score like 30, 35, 40 points anymore. Like, do what you do. Get your players the ball and let them hit shots when LeBron is not on the court.
Right. Keep the scoring going, because he can score the.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ty Nation, if you got something on this one.
Yeah,
let's try to get maybe a different. You like the Lakers? I was about to say, has anybody else got a different team other than the Lakers?
Well, I do have a different team, but I'm saying I agree with y'all when I say Lakers. I think is a good spot. I think it's similar to Chris Paul in Golden State. Like, you come off the bench, you have an opportunity to facilitate the offense, keep it going with star players starting. And there's going to be games where James Harden is going to kind of look back like James Harden of like his later form and be like, all right, well, like, he's going to give you a 35-point game, and it's going to be it's going to be great. So, but I do think my next guess or my next team I would say is Miami. I think would be a good spot for James Harden, because with them losing, I think Gabe Vincent. I think just being able to have James Harden again facilitate offense, get into that Spo system. I think where he's just going to be challenged to have to play defense and to play the game the right way. I think it just puts him back in his element back when he was in college of how he just played the game the right way, wasn't trying to do too much, and he just went out and played basketball. I think that would be beneficial for Miami to have somebody like that on this team if they're not able to land somebody like a Damian Lillard.
He's not a supposed player.
That's what I was. Go ahead. I was going to kind of try to go there.
Not a supposed player.
How he going to actually play in that culture? that the demand is crazy over there on those players. The demand for those players is crazy. Love Blind Guard, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining the show, Love Blind Guard. But the demand, what do you think, Ty Nation? The demand on those players in Miami. Why do you feel like how do you think he's going to answer to that?
I mean, ultimately, I feel like he has to conform to what they're doing. Now, that would be a question of if he can do that or not. But I'm like, if he's in a position where he's trying to win, I think that's a space where he can go. I don't see another place that is going through any sort of like rebuild or anything like that. The James Harden is just a value to them. I think he has to go to a team that is, that went deep into the playoffs and, is trying to compete for championships. The only like other teams that's like that is like a Milwaukee or a Boston or something like that. And I just don't think that he fits at all with any of those teams because of the firepower that they already have. So that would be my only thing is I think that would be, where he would go. He would have to start to conform a little bit to the ways of what the demands that Spo is going to ask for and Jimmy's going to ask for. But I think ultimately it would make him better, and it would make him more like he would be more valuable if he gets in that system and buys in. If he doesn't, like they're gonna ship him at the trade deadline anyway, because Spo ain't gonna have that.
Yeah. Batman, anything?
Yeah, Spo. I mean, Miami, it would not be a good fit for him. Spo is not going to deal with his attitude. He's like a cancer at every team he goes to, and the demand trades, and he is.
Ouch.
And demand trades and want to opt out and his decision making. I think he just want to make a lot of money now, but he more not to me. He don't really to win a championship in the NBA is very hard, and he's not that guy that would go all out and sacrifice his playing style to actually try to win a championship. Now, the Lakers were a great team because he's not gonna. AD and LeBron is not gonna have it from, and you put him on the bench. And
yeah, he don't need to be. He don't need to start.
He don't need to be part of that starting crew. He don't.
Wow.
But he'd be a great off the bench player with the role players like King had said last week. The Lakers got a lot of good role players, and he will fit in perfectly with them. But no team want to mess with him. No team. So Pop is definitely not going to mess with him. Sproles is not messing with him. Like Denver is not messing with him. Like if he want to try to win a championship, and the Lakers will be a better fit for him because they one piece away from somebody that really can come off the bench, and he can play basketball, and he's from LA. And I think he would change his attitude in LA because he would be booed off the court if he tried to come in there with his tactics to get on the other team. He's a journeyman. He's an MVP journeyman. Have you ever heard of that?
The Staples Center would give him an earful.
That's the Lakers. That's the Lakers. They don't play up. Love Blind Guard. Best just get your take in here, Love, while you're here. Thank you for joining the show. Again, everybody, understand this show was created for sports connoisseurs, man, for sports lovers. Thank y'all for joining the show today. Love Blind Guard. Get your take in there, man. A best landing spot for James Harden, but really, when they land him, whoever that best landing spot is, what can they actually expect from him at this point in his career?
I don't think I'm gonna piggyback off of what John said. I don't think he can go anywhere at this point. He's a cancer anywhere he goes. The only place he can go is the Lakers, like he said, because he wouldn't be the superstar on the team. He wouldn't have that ego with LeBron and AD. That's my on it.
And this late in his career, I think he don't even want it. He wanted his bag, and if he win a chip, okay, great.
Yeah.
But that's that.
Okay, there you go. Lakers is sounding like the obvious landing spot as far as because we know LeBron is not dealing with no BS. We know that. So it sounds like that's
he gonna select the superstar on the team.
That's right.
Yeah.
He knows you.
Yeah.
Did you have a take on that, King?
M said he might go back to Houston. That would be kind of funny with those
He
young guys.
won't, though. He definitely is not going to go there.
It's not gonna work.
No, I mean he has talked about his interest in going back to Houston, especially
For
with Ime
what?
Udoka. They just hired one
For
of the
what,
best
though?
coaches. What do you mean for what?
They're not going to win a chip
Oh,
over there.
Nah,
Is it about a chip for him, you think?
I think that window of it being at about a chip is starting to close for him at this point, honestly.
Do you
But-
have any take, though? Do you have any places?
No.
Or do you agree with just our Laker pick?
I mean, it's hard to choose a landing spot more so than I love the part of the question that asks what can teams actually expect from him at this point. And like y'all saying, man, the coming off the bench idea is wild, but it is at this point where it's kind of true. Or if he do start, he has to be all in on facilitating, like all in on the idea of team basketball,
Which is crazy to say because he averages 10 assists.
Exactly, not suffocating the basketball like he likes to do, and like we all loved it for a long time, but now it's just at the point you can't hold the ball for 15 seconds in the shot clock anymore.
You're right, King. Off the bench is the best thing. And a lot of people, y'all too young to know about the Detroit Pistons when they won back-to-back championships. Y'all probably wasn't even born at the time. But Benny the Microwave Johnson, he could be just like that for the Lakers because he can score the basketball. He can facilitate. And we know that. And coming off the bench, instant, like throwing something in the microwave, you put it on 1 minute and it's done. And he'll cook you for his time off the bench. His name was Benny the Microwave Johnson. Look it up.
We got to look that up. It might be a clip.
Detroit
I know
Pistons.
a lot of those players. I know a lot of those players on the Bad Boy Pistons, but I know who Benny the Microwave is, but I'm not too savvy on knowing how his game style was.
But it reminds me of James Harden.
That's funny.
You think James Harden gonna come off the bench though?
Yeah, that's where I was struggling.
If he come over that,
if he wants to win a chip, he's gonna have to. If he doesn't care and he just wants to make money and play, then it doesn't matter. Then every basketball team is a landing spot.
Go to Houston.
Right?
Go to Houston.
If he wants to play, he should. If he wants to just play and make a lot of money, he should go to a team like Houston or Washington, some team that doesn't have a star and he just wants to ball out. But if he wants to win a chip, he might have to at this point. He might have to. Milwaukee too could work. Coming off the bench in Milwaukee, maybe.
Off the bench.
Yeah, it has to be.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If he wants to win a chip, it's gonna have to be off the bench. He's not that guy anymore. He's just not.
Teams don't like him. Teams don't like him. They can't trust him. People like he here for half a season. Next thing he's crying for a trade.
Right.
Come on, man.
All right.
What we got?
We got the Steelers' offense is looking red hot going into the regular season. We're gonna switch over to the NFL for a bit. Listen to this stat: Steelers' offense in the preseason: four drives, 4 touchdowns, no field goals, no punts, no turnovers. Kenny Pickett and that offense is on fire. And I know King was hyping the Steelers up in our first we did all the divisional rankings, and the first division we talked about was the AFC North, and King had a really hot take on those Steelers, man, saying that they could surprise a lot of people this year. And so far, that prediction is looking really well. I don't know about his AFC West prediction, but this one is spot on so far. So, what can we expect from the Steelers now? Are we still not is it still whatever, or do we have a little more faith in them?
I want to ask this question. Guess always first is we already know what their defense can do and what their defense are, like who they are as a defense. Seeing what they've done so far preseason as far as how sharp they've looked, can they actually finish atop the NFL, like amongst the top the NFL with offense, like like can their offense be one of the top ranked offenses in the NFL? Is that possible with this roster construction? Like with that offense, we know their defenses, but can that offense finish at the top of the rankings in offense this season? Again, like Gator said, what is the overall outlook for the Steelers this year?
Preseason, I love watching preseason, not because of the starters, because of a player that really want to make the team and an impact player that you would never thought that he would be that impact player. 4th round, 5th round draft picks and things like that. Yes, they do look good in preseason. I watched them play the other day. Last night. They 24-zip.
Yeah, they're beaten down on these.
They
in
are.
these preseason games. I know it doesn't mean much.
Right. Everybody know about their defense. So they got to keep the Pittsburgh defense. Got to keep them in game. Don't get too hyped with this offense because know what the coach is doing is, which is very smart. He's playing they first string starters longer than he should. He better be very careful and keep doing it. But he's smart because he want to see what, giving them the real plays and see what they can do to second and third street defense.
There's one thing I'm gonna say about that. It's only been four drives. That's not overplaying them. 4 drives. That's only 4 drives in the preseason. It's not more than that. So,
but it can't be only
one drive a game.
They scored 3 touchdowns and went for 2 every play to get 24. I mean, I'm just trying to figure this whole thing out.
No. What I'm saying is, over the course of the preseason, their starters, just their starters. The starters are 4 for 4, no punts, no field goals, no turnovers, 4 straight touchdowns by Kenny Pickett in the first team offense.
4 quarters. 4 quarters. In the course of 4 quarters. With all these, other than wide receiver, they wide receiver course is actually pretty good.
Very good.
This quarterback, okay. Now you know the head coach is just a defensive-minded coach. He let the offense coordinator do his thing. It seems like the offense coordinator is actually doing his thing. But you got to play the game. It's like you got to play 4 quarters of doing that. 4 quarters, and they're getting exhausted now on everything. I like to see them 4 games in the season. 4 games in the season. They got to be no less than, in 4 games, 3-1 before I say, yeah, they got to make noise. 2-2, nah. 2-2, maybe a playoff first round. 4-1, 3-1. I'll say, yeah, they are somewhat there, and it's like my other man from another show. I'm not gonna say he said and he's a big Pittsburgh fan. Maybe y'all know who I'm talking about. But he said they're not there. He said, but they climb. Mm-hmm. And what they are. But don't make them like, oh man, they're gonna make noise in the playoffs and stuff like that. I say they make the playoffs, but that's as far as they go. They're not gonna win like a division. They're not gonna win and go to the championship, stuff like that. They're not gonna do that. But they climb it. They climb.
Okay. Love Blind or Tie Nation? It's one of y'all. It's up to y'all. Yeah, I mean, y'all don't have to have a take on it.
Hello.
I don't know too much about the Steelers, but they're getting better. I know you and Christian love their receivers. I'm not too high on their receivers, but they're getting better. I don't really like Kenny Pickett as a quarterback. He was trash last year. So
okay. You gotta see it to believe it type thing.
Yeah.
Any take on this, Tie Nation?
I think their offense. I think their offense is going to be straight. Defensively, they're gonna get them possessions, and I mean, I think they just have a very it's a steady offense. You got Najee Harris, as a running back in the back. Your receiver core is decent. All I think is if you can try to have as mistakeless and turnoverless football as possible. I think they can march up and down the field with the offense that they have. It might not be flashy, it might not be, super exciting, but I think they'll be able to get the job done just being efficient with the football. So I think they're going to, I don't know, to King's point, if they can be a top of the league offense, but I think efficient wise, I think they have a good opportunity to do that. Just with the team they have.
But you see their division though?
Yeah,
They
it's
lose.
crazy.
They already lost 6 games right there. That's
I wouldn't say
quiet.
that. They're gonna play them tough, but
Yeah,
Nah.
that
it's
division is
tough. It's definitely it's making it look like that might be the best division in football. The way the
As I said.
Steelers are. If the Steelers are the worst team in that division is stacked in.
as I already said.
Yeah.
But
Bengals, the Ravens, and the Browns. That's all for them.
nah. I'm not gonna go that far.
I think me and King
this,
are gonna agree on this one.
this is what we talking about. We talking about, like Christian said, in the 4 drives that their starters played in the 3 preseason games thus far. They scored on a touchdown on every single last one of those
Against
drives.
first team defenses too.
Against so it, when you look at Deontay Johnson, when you look at George Pickens, when you look at Pat Fryermuth, their tight end, when you look at Najee Harris in the backfield, and Najee Harris backup, let's understand he's trying to take Najee Harris' spot.
He might be better than him.
Jalen Warren trying to take Najee's spot. Like, this dude is not, he don't care. Najee who? So when you got all that working with you, obviously the only question mark becomes the quarterback in that situation. And to me, that's where I'm off the bus. I'm off the bus. And as far as their offense being amongst the best offenses in the NFL, to me that just can't happen with the Kenny Pickett. Like, that's just like kind of impossible. You need like a Mahomes, Herbert, Joe Burrow type of QB to make those statistical numbers make sense. Like, so with the Kenny Pickett, who they have to still, at this point in his career, he's still being coddled. He's not unleashed by no stretch of the imagination. He's still being coddled. He's kind of going to have the same year, like if we remember the type of year Daniel Jones had last season, where there was a lot of coddling going on. I think he's going to have that kind of year where it's just the offense is going to be super safe. He's not going to turn the ball over much. They're going to run the ball a lot. He's going to make high quality throws here and there. It's not going to be, it's not going to be super like this super duper offense that we're about to be witnessing. But I do think, though, the defense is going to complement the offense very, very well, and they're going to win football games, of course. And so, I mean, Mike Tomlin in this tough division never had a record that was less than 50%, never had a losing record in his career ever. So they're going to do at least 9-8, at least, because that's what he's done his entire career. Never did worse than never had a losing record. So now it's just how many more games over 9 can they get? And so, yeah, I mean, but sitting at the top of the league, yeah, I don't think this offense. But I do really watch it.
Not top of the league, but I'm gonna disagree with you on this one, King. I don't think Kenny Pickett is gonna be a problem this year. There's 2 things in the NFL that I've come to notice about, especially NFL quarterbacks. They need reps, especially young quarterbacks. They need reps, and they need confidence. Kenny Pickett right now is oozing confidence, and not only that, he got all the first team reps in training camp this year. I think that is massive. I think that's huge. I think it's something that people quickly forget. When young quarterbacks come to the league, they come into training camp, they come into practice, they don't get as many reps because they're sitting behind somebody, and they're getting reps here and there. They're getting a few preseason games. They don't get to play much in the regular season. Kenny Pickett has that experience now and has a full offseason with the first team, got all the reps. I think we might be seeing the next great quarterback. And I'm not even trolling when I say that. Just by how they've looked, I think we're seeing the next. I think by the end of this year, we're going to be talking about Kenny Pickett as a top 10 quarterback. Top 10.
That's
this
definitely
year.
A clip. That is, you clip that and you post that and put your name, attach your name to that. Please.
I'm seeing it. The type of
man.
throws he's making in this
If he does
preseason,
that-
man.
If he does that, then yes, they're gonna have one of the best offenses in the NFL. Absolutely. Yeah, but
I
come
am
on,
getting
bro.
more nervous and more nervous
Bro.
from that Week 1 Niner game.
We seen zero signs last year from Kenny Pickett that would make us have the expectations
That's
that you
not
just spelled
true.
out there.
That's not true. I
Zero
wouldn't say
signs.
like top 10, not top 10, but he won a lot of football games last year.
Bruh, he on the legs of the Steelers culture, not because of him.
Maybe. But this year they're gonna win a lot of games because of him. Because of Kenny Pickett.
I'd like to see it. I would like to see it. I won't say I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but I know about Pittsburgh. I'm an older guy on the set.
Like let's not forget the Steelers drafted Kenny Pickett
before they won the others. So they culture. King said it perfect word, culture. Makes teams when they, especially they play in Pittsburgh, makes team kind of going there like, we about to play football. We're not coming in here and see Pittsburgh stink up the place. We're going in there and playing football. Can we beat them? Yes, but we better play football. That being said, the quarterback now Gator said, and he's convinced, and that's what I like to see too. Though I like to see whoever would have thought that. I mean, I can name quarterback. Start with that New England Patriot dude that this team right here beat in the Super Bowl. Just to let you know that coming out of Michigan, he was going to be that dude. Like honestly, he was what round he was drafted in?
Who, Brady?
first. Yeah. Oh, Brady.
Six.
No,
Are you talking about Pickett?
Tom Brady.
Oh, Brady.
Tom Brady.
Six.
Oh,
7. It was
6-7. Tom Brady come out of nowhere to see that. Instead of hyping trophy quarterbacks and stuff like that, it's the best one. That's the best to see that. So, what Gator one? I would like to see that, and he can say
he's
more.
a first-round draft pick, though.
First round draft pick, and listen to these stats.
Kenny Pickett, the quarterback for the Steelers.
Yeah, he got drafted in the first round. So like he had the talent is there.
He was a rookie last year.
The talent level is there. And listen to these stats. Listen to these preseason stats. The whole preseason. 13 for 15, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 158.3 passer rating. Like, this dude is oozing confidence. Like, I know it's the preseason, but they're going up against first-team defense. Like, I don't see why he can't do that in the regular season. I just don't.
Think he's going to be this year's Brock Purdy?
Nah, he'll be better than Brock Purdy. Like, talent-wise, he's a first-round draft pick. Like, talent-wise, he should be Kirk Cousins. Like,
we'll see what happens.
He should be Kirk Cousins. Like, I would not be surprised if he's a Kirk Cousins-like player.
I'm just saying, next year he gonna be like, they're gonna trade him too.
We'll see what happens.
Like they just traded.
Oh yeah, we talked about it. We talked about it.
We're not talking about Stephen Land.
Those dumbass Niners.
What do we got?
Another NFL take before we go back to the NBA for a couple topics. Does Patrick Mahomes have to get to 7 rings to be considered the GOAT? Does he have to match Tom Brady to be considered the GOAT?
Oh, this GOAT thing. I can't stand this GOAT questions and all that stuff.
Oh,
like
get used to it. We got another one after this.
You don't even have to like that's what like it don't even have to like you don't gotta even look at it as the word GOAT. Just answer the question of, does he need 7 rings to surpass Tom Brady?
I mean, as a single quarterback, that's common sense. Yes, he needs 7 Super Bowls. That's common sense. Yeah, come on, 6, 7 to pass him. Yes,
I'm saying for you to be like, all right, that football player, right? So let's just say he wins 4 or 5. That football player right there with 5 rings is better than that football player right there with 7 rings.
That's the stats. And let's get how many Super Bowls did he lose?
But yeah, okay. I mean, I'm just asking. Does he? The question is how you can go whatever angle you want to go with it. To have for us to look at him as a better quarterback than Tom Brady, does he need 7 rings to do that?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Enough. It's a simple yes, and that's that. We can leave it there. Yes.
Yeah.
What? Yes.
I think
Yeah, he does.
if he
Consider
could,
better. They're not gonna give it to him. They're not gonna make him the GOAT because he stayed at 5. If he tired him, if he
I think
tired him,
5's
then
enough.
go
I
one,
think
go
5's
2.
enough.
But the thing is, didn't the GOAT lose 3 Super Bowls? If I'm not mistaken, I know he lost 2.
He
This
lost
is
3. He lost 3.
He lost 3. Now Mahomes lost 1. Give him that. But if Mahomes win, say 6, and still only lost 1, and the GOAT got 6, but lost 3. Now he goes. Then Brady goes into that LeBron thing. He had to go to another team to win it. So like LeBron, he had to go to another team and win another Super Bowl. And Mahomes stayed with KC. Then who's the real GOAT? If he ties them 6 apiece and only 1 lost Super Bowl, Brady was what? They lost 1 season. Giants beat them. They didn't lose no game. 2nd season, they only lost 1 game, and now they lost both of those games to the New York Football
Here we go.
I mean. All right. Let's just take this into account right now. By the age 27, let's dive into these numbers. By the age 27, Mahomes is 27 right now. When Brady was 27, these are the comparable numbers right here. Brady, 97 touchdown passes. Patrick Mahomes, 192. Brady, huh? Yeah. Brady, 52 interceptions. Mahomes, 49 interceptions. Let's understand what that means. Mahomes' pass attempts to this point versus Tom Brady's pass attempts to this point, it's not even close. He threw the ball exponentially more times than Tom Brady did. To have less interceptions, that's kind of crazy. 197 touchdown passes to Tom Brady's 97. 13,000 yards by the age 27. 13,000 yards. Patrick Mahomes, 24,000 yards.
Double them on that.
Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, 0 All-Pro teams. Patrick Mahomes, 2 first-team All-Pro teams. So it's my whole thing is, if he just straight shatters his numbers, like we gotta take into consideration Tom's, again, especially the Tom guys, they hate to hear Tom Brady's name attached to Bill Belichick. They absolutely hate it. They hate it. But you can't exclude Tom Brady being with those Patriot defenses. You can't exclude Bill Belichick in the whole construct of 7 Super Bowls.
Can't you say the same thing about Patrick Mahomes though with Andy Reid? That offense is Andy Reid's offensive mind is insane.
Absolutely, but what I'm saying is Tom Brady's a great player. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying Tom Brady was the offense. Bill was the defense. Do you see how that's a dual freaking whirlwind coming at you? In this situation, we just got a high-powered offense with the bend don't break defense. Like Mahomes is pulling the offense so much that he's just asking the defense to make plays here and there, which they do. They do. But it's not those Patriots defenses with Ty Law,
definitely not.
Ronnie Harrison. Should I name these names?
Teddy
like
Bruschi.
Teddy Bruschi, Johnathan, Mike Vrabel. The names go on and on. Darrell Revis, who they got one with. Like, so I mean, those
Did
teams
Darrell Revis win a chip with them?
won a Super Bowl.
Darrell Revis.
Darrell Revis won a Super. His only Super Bowl was with the Patriots. Yep, sure was.
I
You know,
personally
Hall of Fame.
don't think. Go ahead, King.
No,
Devin McCourty.
Yeah. No, so I mean, it's just the whole point is when you look at what Tom Brady was playing with on top of who he is as an all-time great, that's just like, all right, that got 6 rings written all over it. And I understand that. But when you got a situation in Kansas City where it's all about the offense, it's not about the completion of a football team like they had in New England. It's just about the offense in Kansas City. When you consider that in these numbers, like it's like, nah, bro. Like all that tells me is if Patrick Mahomes is on those teams with that defense, they run into table too. That's all it tells me. So I can't sit here and not say because Patrick Mahomes fell short in the overall team concept of football, which is to win a Super Bowl, that then I can't with my own 2 eyes be able to say, nah, he was a better player. Like it was just flat out a better player. I don't need 7 rings to be like Patrick Mahomes was a better football player than Tom Brady. I don't need that. Like, especially when you consider these numbers, this is ridiculous. How you throw that much more attempts than him by the age of 27 and still have less interceptions?
Double to both touchdowns and double.
I mean, realistically, I already think like I've seen them both play. Patrick Mahomes is the greatest player I've ever witnessed with my 2 eyes. Am I gonna call him the GOAT yet? No, but like just watching the two play, Patrick Mahomes does things Tom Brady could never dream to do, and like he couldn't throw a ball fucking 70 yards like Tom Brady. I only think he needs for me to call him the GOAT, he just needs 5. If he wins 5, I'm comfortable calling him the GOAT. I don't think he needs 7.
With the numbers,
I know Love Blind God is a Tom Brady, just a Tom Brady fanatic. So I just want to give you the window, the opportunity to say something.
Respectful to put them in the same room together. You know what I'm saying? So,
wow,
Tom Brady last year or 2 years ago led the league in passing yards and touchdowns, and
it was
Patrick Mahomes prime. You feel me? So it's like Tom Brady did things that Patrick Mahomes is probably not going to do in the future. Be 44 years old, leading the league in passing attempts. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
you wouldn't have to do it because you're going to pass him before he's 30. Before he's 30.
He might.
I don't think he's gonna get the 5 rings. I'm gonna just say that.
Oh no.
I mean, that's tough. I mean,
the AFC is stacked. The AFC is stacked, and it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon.
I just feel like he is the modern day, and everybody know how much I love LeBron, but LeBron aesthetically, LeBron is not Michael Jordan. Like Michael Jordan was way more fun to watch. So
chill. That's next topic. Chill out.
I think Patrick Mahomes is the modern day Michael Jordan. Like I truly do. Like he's just the modern day. Like just
lost that one. But he lost that one.
You know what I mean? Like when you look at all the players to ever play this game, nobody ever gave us the feeling that Patrick Mahomes is giving us right now. And when you look at the NBA, there were a lot of great players: Magic, Larry, Wilt, Kareem. But nobody gave us the feeling that Air Jordan gave us. Nobody gave us the feeling that Michael Jordan gave us. And I think Patrick Mahomes, he's just giving me MJ vibes right now. And to say he's not going to get to at least he's going to get to like 5. He's going to get to like
the only thing I'll say about that, King, is Tom Brady really only had one quarterback to rival, like back in the day. It was really just Peyton Manning. To win the AFC, it wasn't that tough.
He thought you was talking about
on the AFC side, man. I'm not talking about the Super Bowl. We know what happened in the Super Bowl. I'm talking about.
Don't count. You just threw the Super Bowl out of that. Let's throw the Super Bowl away, huh?
We're talking about winning Super Bowls, and to get there, you got to win the AFC first.
Why did he try to say, hey, he really was about to be like, he only had one quarterback to rival, and that's Peyton Manning. Batman whole time thinking about Eli Manning.
I said the other brother. I said the other brother.
It's like Tom Brady won the chip 2 years ago. You
I
already
said
forgot?
the other brother. But back to my main point. Besides Peyton Manning, maybe you could argue Ben Roethlisberger. There wasn't many foes in the AFC to like contest
Acting
with
like
the
Tom
Patriots.
Brady just won the chip 2 years ago.
Who, me? No. I'm using this point against Patrick Mahomes. So it was it was a lot easier to win the AFC in Tom Brady's day and age. Now it's a lot more difficult. You got, and this is going to be for the future too. This ain't even like just near future. None of these quarterbacks are going anywhere. Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson. There's a lot of competition in the AFC right now. It's not like it was in the court. There's like, those are all like, those top four are arguably rivals to Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes
He's gonna have a rough. He might not get you. You might be right because of how good these quarterbacks are in the AFC. He might not get to 5. If he gets to 5 in this AFC, if he wins 5 Super Bowls with this AFC, he the GOAT. He the GOAT. Tom Brady should have had 10 with that weak ass AFC.
Anyway, I mean,
but Gator, sorry, King, but Gator, in the NFC, that's fine. That's all great, and you are 100% right. I won't disagree with you at all. But then there's an NFC Super Bowl you got to go through, and then this is what happened to him. This is what happened to him.
That's why I said they should have won 10.
Do you know who Eli Manning had to go through in the NFC? $1 billion. Come on, man.
This is about Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady.
There's a point, but there's a point.
Eli Manning doesn't even deserve to be in the conversation.
What's the point, Batman? What's the point?
Are you serious? Because my nephew, Love, right there, he said, damn, man. It's like they say, he's like, Mom is the greatest boxer. He said that, but what's his name? He busts his ass. So Eli ain't shit. He beat Tom Brady.
Twice.
So you are 100% right. He should have beat. Eli should have got. He beat an 18-0 team and what, a 17-1 team. The best offense that ran that both seasons. Woo! Eli, the bum-ass Eli, New York G-Man Giants said to Tom Brady, kick rocks and go back to New England. While we going down,
I need another 10 years to go by because I'm sick of hearing about these Giants. All these Giant fans just be reminiscing about.
1 year that
you know how long ago that shit was now? Like, oh man, you guys ain't gonna win one for another like 20 years. So get ready.
So San Francisco is not gonna win for another 30 years.
Put up the next topic so that people got a chance to get in the
Jordan versus Braun. What's your who you got?
Man, stop.
We got the marketing has to go because
explain it. Go ahead, explain.
We're gonna do this once a month because we want to give everybody a chance, especially as we gain followers and gain a followers.
He's like Kobe. Infinite said Kobe.
We want to give everybody a chance to chime in on this, make their case. Trust me, and I'm going to be involved in that because there's multiple cases to be made. There's not enough show to, have this debate and be able to fully exasperate all of, if I'm with Jordan, I need multiple takes to get that out. So if I'm with LeBron, I need multiple takes to get that out. So
let them go first.
We're gonna do this every month, It's a fun debate. It's one of those debates where we want everybody. We want to hear everybody, and we want to hear multiple takes, even from the same people. I mean, but go ahead.
Anybody. I'm not going. I watched MJ
Dennis, go
play
first.
from when he was in college. So y'all didn't watch MJ when he played in North Carolina and played against Georgetown and hit that jump shot in the corner to beat Georgetown, Patrick Ewing, Georgetown. So y'all go for it. Anybody. Let the people that's online.
You want to go, Dennis? If not,
only reason I say MJ is better because LeBron messed up that Mavericks championship, man. He lost to the Mavericks. He was dog shit in that. MJ would have did that. If LeBron would have won that chip, then we could talk about it. But 8 points in the whole finals is in the fourth quarter and the whole finals is crazy. That's just crazy.
Is that an actual stat? 8 points the whole fourth quarter of that finals? Is that an actual stat?
It's like 8 points in the fourth quarter, something like that.
Oh yeah,
in the whole.
This debate over. But go ahead. I didn't even know that. I never knew that. I was gonna be more, but I never knew that. You can continue, Dennis. My bad.
They cranked them up.
That's all. That's it.
Yeah, that's the only reason I think Jordan is better because Jordan would have never did that.
So
he would have died before he lost to the Mavericks. That was bad.
He probably retired.
Wayne Wade and Chris Bosh on his team? What?
Unexcusable.
Yeah.
I have a what I feel bad even talking about this because one thing is I never actually got to see Michael Jordan play. So I think it's unfair to rate it. I think it's unfair to rank it because you see highlights, you hear stories, you see the best of Michael Jordan, but you never get to see the day. Like you never just get to watch a full season of him. Like I could sit here and watch every single LeBron game. Like I could literally sit here and watch all 82 seasons. Well, now it's only like 50. All 50 games of a LeBron season. I can't do that with Jordan. That's just it's not today. So I just don't think hearing stories and watching the best highlights of Michael Jordan is enough to rate this. I don't think we have enough knowledge. I just don't think we have enough. It's different. There's a big difference of watching highlights and there's another thing of watching him every day. There's a big difference.
See, and this is what and this is how you bridge that, and where I step in. This is how you bridge that big difference gap, is if you actually know the game of basketball. No, look,
that's fine. No, that's fine. That's still fine. But you still didn't get to watch enough of Jordan.
Again, but this
even if you know how basketball is.
No, where I'm saying your point with that goes null and void when you actually know the game of basketball. It just does, because when you see the skill sets, again, you don't, and no, this is for anybody who, is just coming into the sport of basketball and trying to understand it for the first time. When you see the arsenal of abilities that somebody has, you don't need 1,000 games to watch 1,000 games to be able to say, oh, I know what his full package is. I know Jordan's.
I think you do. I disagree. I think you do.
I saw Jordan's full arsenal, everything that he's capable of doing on a basketball court. I saw. So it's and then when you obviously and then you put the numbers involved. But I just want to say, Dennis, love blind guard. I understand your frustration with the Dallas series. Everybody, as a LeBron guy, me, and just if the cat's out the bag, out the hat, excuse me, whatever, I'm with LeBron. I feel like LeBron is, the best individual basketball player to ever play basketball. But he has blunders. To me, that's the difference between.
Jordan did.
That's the only difference between LeBron and Michael Jordan is that LeBron has blunders. He has series where you just like, bro, what happened, bro? Like, what happened? And to I have to take those arguments. I can't argue against those arguments when I hear that. Like, but the points that I could make obviously more than makes up for those things. And today the only point I'm gonna make, and we'll come back to it monthly. So the only point I'm gonna make on it today is just the fact that LeBron has 3 championships with 3 different organizations, 3 different head coaches, all which have never won a championship without him. To me, when you look at when Jordan was playing, you had to go through trials and tribulations to win chips. How many times did he lose? He lost to Bird. He lost to Detroit Pistons. That roster that they constructed around MJ had to go through the fire to become a good team. LeBron just be like, I'm gonna go there, and they end up in the finals. No, I mean, LeBron is a walking, when I say, and I want people to understand this, LeBron is a walking individual basketball team, if that makes sense to people. Like, when he comes on your team,
you way better.
That is one of the most easiest jobs to do for a GM when you got LeBron on your team. When you get a LeBron James, you have a basketball team. When you get a Michael Jordan, how could we construct a great team around him? It's just different type of mindsets you gotta have depending on the player. And when you look at Michael Jordan, he had phenomenal rosters. Yes, he's the guy. He's the guy. I'm just saying, you had to actually make it work, though, if I make sense. With Michael Jordan, you actually had to say, okay, we got to put the most optimal fitting pieces around this great talent. With LeBron, it's like, put shooters around him.
I'm gonna bring the ball up,
and then you'll catch him in the final somewhere. But this is to close my point. All I'm saying is, there are situations, and I'll give these situations, and my point to be closed today. There are situations, and Inf said, true indeed. Thank you, Inf, for agreeing with me. But these are the situations that I'd rather have LeBron in over Jordan. And I'll close my point. If my roster is a bad roster, give me LeBron James over Michael Jordan. That's just one. Another take. If I had a bad coaching staff, give me LeBron in that situation over a Michael Jordan.
2 agrees.
Those are just.
I agree.
Those are just 2 situations where I'd rather have LeBron James in. Now, if you give LeBron James the most qualified players that fit him, give Jordan the most qualified players that fit him, to me, that's a whole nother discussion. And in a series like that, I might take MJ. But when you talk about individual, when you talk about this game from an individual standpoint, when you look at that guy's game, LeBron, to me, is a better just individual basketball player. And I always like to say this: Jordan is the GOAT. LeBron is the best player to ever play. I always like to say that because nobody could ever match. Nobody could ever match the impact that Jordan had on the game of basketball. The impact he had, the legacy he's left. It's just like, okay, give him the GOAT title. And that's the one thing that I'm realizing is okay to do. Somebody could be the face of basketball while not being the best basketball player to ever play the game. Michael Jordan is the absolute face of basketball, the sneaker. I want to be like him. All this crazy stuff that he's done for the game you can't match that. That is unmatched, right? At least nobody's done it yet. But just individual basketball player, I mean, I'm looking at Braun.
100%. 100%. I told my son King he could remind anybody when LeBron James was in high school. King knows I could be a scout for any team because I watched basketball for a long time. Not long with I'm 56, just to let you know. So I seen the Knicks win championship and then be a bust. Now that being said, I told King when LeBron was in high school, he's going to be one of the best basketball players that played in the NBA, if King can remember. And before he played one game in the NBA, I ran all over New Jersey, everywhere I could find his high school basketball jersey, official basketball jersey, and got it for King. And King was like 3'6". So he was young there. He wore it like a dress. And I told him that all three points King made is 100% true. Jordan is definitely I've seen Jordan play since out of college. And they said the only person that stopped Michael Jordan from being home with Dean Smith out of North Carolina. It was Dean Smith, his coach. And he won the championship against Georgetown by Patrick Ewing that went to the Knicks with a corner jump shot and blew his career up from there. Now, what King's biggest point is, overall, for one, he's the leading scorer in the whole NBA. They never thought Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
was going to drop that bomb today. I just was just
going
to make
boom. I dropped it because now you have to. You have to stat. Yes, he lost championship with bum team, but he took a bum team to a championship that Jordan couldn't do. Before he got Pippins and the Rodmans and the Ron Harpers and all these other Hall of Fame players Jordan had with him. Steve Kerr, John Paxsons, I could just go on and on. Dennis Rodman, forget about it. That's when it just went crazy. He couldn't carry his team to a championship. He took them to the playoffs and stuff like that, and then he didn't go to the championship. That's when Jordan said, okay, enough is enough, GM. If you want me to stay here, get me players around me. So that's why everybody said, oh, Jordan stayed with one team. Of course, because everybody think Jordan wasn't going to leave Chicago. He was. But that's when he got with Pippen. That's when he got Ron Harper, Grant, Paxson. I think this name players that was there, and they beat my Lakers. After the next, the Lakers were my team. When they beat the Lakers, the Magic Johnson Lakers, I said, it's over for the league. Ain't nobody going to touch Michael Jordan from here on out. I said that. But when LeBron came in, nobody gave him credit of the players he had to play with that he took to the championship, even the ones he lost. Now, that Dallas, he had the players. He had the players. That when made me say, Uncle Break, who to go.
And we got to keep in mind with that Dallas series, had he won a championship yet in that? Like, did he win yet?
Who?
LeBron. Did he have a ring yet in that Dallas series?
No.
No, he didn't.
Nobody had a top player in the league.
Did Jordan have a ring yet when he played the Lakers?
This is the point I'm gonna make. He hadn't won yet. He didn't know how to win yet. Because Jordan never, when he was losing every year when he came into the league, it happened in the playoffs. So we just brushed that right up under, because it didn't happen in the finals. Let's just sweep it right under the. Bro, he didn't even get to that point. So what I'm saying is, okay, Jordan didn't know how to win a chip yet, so he was losing in the playoffs. LeBron didn't know how to win a chip yet, and he lost in the finals. It's just do we not understand the simple? This not even only for sports. This is just humanity. It's called getting over the hump, whether it's mentally, physically, it's challenges in life that are tolling, and it takes a lot to actually cross that threshold and then not look back from that moment forward. And can we disagree that LeBron did in fact do that? After that loss, Did he not take off from there as far as chips goes and accolades goes and everything? Yes or no? Yes or no?
He
Yes.
did, but
Yes.
he had Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, who was doing their thing in that playoff series. All they needed LeBron to do was the bare minimum, and he was under that. Like, it was just like, come on, what are you doing out there, bro? Like, nah, it was crazy.
But look, let me make this one point that with LeBron, to me,
His bare minimum.
kind of evened that out. Then some person when he went back to Cleveland and he won. That's what made me say. That was
crazy. To win a ring for Cleveland was
he
blackened.
wanted to go to Cleveland to retire. He wanted to go to Cleveland and be back home in Ohio and retire. He not only he won a chip, he won against Golden State, the champion Warriors.
And in that season, they broke Jordan's record. That season, they went 73-9 and went to the finals, obviously, and was up 3-1 against Braun, and he came back scoring 41 points. He scored 41 points in Game 5, 41 points in Game 6, and a triple-double in Game 7. And then on top of that, led that series in 7 games, led that series in all statistical categories in 7 games: points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals. That's
and the number one block is when he blocked my man's shot.
To sit there. I'm sorry, Bat. To sit there and just like that, like you got like to do that against the team that won the most games in NBA history in the regular season, that was up 3-1. To do that, lead in all statistical categories in 7 games, to me, that was not that just explained the book bag that he is, the carrier that he is, was on full display in that series. And like, just to yell the Cleveland that was for you, the Cleveland this is for you, was like, Jim Brown, if we know who that is, running back for the Browns, disappointed when LeBron was a child. He said he never forget it when Jim Brown lost, the Super Bowl and broke Cleveland's heart. Like, just like man, like they hadn't won us. The city of Cleveland hadn't won us professional sport in 50 years, bro. Like we, you understand what this man did for that city as far as that goes. And then so I just feel as though, just not that first against Dallas, I feel as though he just didn't know how to win yet. We got to understand, he didn't have a post game. What did he do? He went to what's the guy? Dream. Akeem Olajuwon. He went to Olajuwon after that season to work on his post game. He went to he fine-tuned his mid-range game and his three-point game, because people act like Dallas was a bad team. Like, I mean, that roster construction was actually dominant. That was a really freaking good basketball team. On top of that, the head coach, who came from Greg Pop's coaching staff, told him how to guard LeBron James. It was just like, let him shoot. Literally, like, let him shoot. Force him to shoot the basketball. And they absolutely did that. Kept him from out of the paint with their big guys, and Tyson Chandler in the paint, and all that. Sean Marion, was in like this. But just so they actually had a game plan to stop.
But there's no excuse when Jason Terry is outscoring LeBron James.
There is an excuse when Jason Terry we gotta understand it was just that series he did that, and that's possible when you consider the holes that was in Miami Heat's defense. Jason Terry took well advantage of it.
That's possible. Jason Terry can score more than LeBron James. That's not supposed to be possible.
I'm not. What I'm going to say. What I'm again, because you're talking about an aspect of Jordan's game that was very, very prominent, which was scoring. So no, it's impossible for Jordan to do that, because that was his best asset, was to score the basketball, whether it was shooting, taking you to the rack. That's what he does. Okay, you're bringing up a point of one part of the game, which is scoring. But I'm just saying, what I'm saying is, when it came down to it, LeBron still was struggling as a shooter at that point in his career. still was struggling as a post player at that point in his career.
Team
And
to
so
the-
it's he got nullified. He did. He got nullified in that series, and that was a big time learning curve for him. And he took off from there. I would understand if he didn't take off from there, but that loss was a true testament to him being able to move on from that point and take off.
I wouldn't say he took off from there, but
Well,
he never
absolutely
lost. He
did.
never lost another championship.
yes,
He
he
did.
did.
No, he
but
Plenty.
He
He
did.
lost plenty.
all I hear is a lot of
After Dallas?
excuses. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not
Yeah,
even gonna lie.
He
A lot of
lost plenty.
excuses.
He lost
Bro,
more than he lost
If
way
you're
more
hearing
than
it-
he
if
won.
you're hearing excuses, give me the excuses for Michael Jordan losing his first 7 years in the league.
But so did LeBron.
Okay, so what
LeBron.
excuses? That they both lost.
But LeBron lost to the Dallas Mavericks so bad. Like, that was just bad. Like, if he didn't lose to that, then you have an argument.
They lost. What are we talking about?
If he didn't lose to the Mavericks like that, like how he
The
did,
Mavericks was a bum though, love. But
like the Spurs, that loss was he was gonna lose to the
it
Spurs.
was
There's
bad.
nothing he could do about
It
that.
was bad. King, it
He
was
should have
bad.
lost. He should have lost twice to the Spurs.
It was bad.
Ray Allen
You
saved his
could
life.
think.
too.
It was
I
bad.
wasn't gonna
Chris
bring
Bosh-
that up. Ray Allen saved
I'm
his
not
life.
arguing if it was bad. It was bad. But to have that moment be the defining moment that you took off from that point, to
There's
me
no
is
way
like,
you could. You don't know
that-
basketball. Like King
like
said,
I'm just saying, like everybody has defining
Nah,
moments.
but-
Everybody has
You
moments.
can't say that because
No.
what Batman said. No, what Batman said. I
You
think
don't know basketball.
Yeah,
Because-
to Dennis, I'm talking about when you said that to Dennis because I think that's unfair because we are comparing the two best players of all time, so it's not like
Right.
it's a very slim margin. You know, it's not like, you can make it a very good case for either or. But like there are instances in the finals, especially in the finals, and that's where the best players are made. In the finals, there are arguments to be made that LeBron James did not show up, or he we could go through every finals. We could go through every finals.
Never faulted.
Can we go to a playoff series where Jordan did not show up? Can we go to a playoff series where Jordan did not show up?
Like LeBron lost a
bring up
lot.
one playoff
LeBron
series.
lost
Jordan
a
didn't show
lot of fucking finals.
Jordan
LeBron
was
lost a lot of
part
fucking
every
finals.
game.
Okay, he showed up, but he lost. But the team lost.
Right.
But we all
Jordan
agreed.
showed up.
But we all agreed. Wait.
Hold on.
We all agree.
What does show up mean? And this is the part of basketball where it gets real intricate and it starts to really upset me when I'm talking to guys that don't understand. What does show up mean? Because LeBron could have showed up too if he wanted to. He could have just jacked shots.
No, in the big moments. In the big moments. In the big moments. In the big
Sure that
moments.
his stats looked good.
In the big
But
moments.
that's not the player that he was, and that's what MJ was doing. Just high volume of shots.
In the big
Like,
moments.
I don't understand.
King, in the big moments. That's what we're talking about. In the big moments.
That's
Oh,
what
no,
I'm
no.
talking about.
In the
That's
big
literally-
moments.
that's
That's
what I'm
literally
talking
all
about.
we're talking about.
Playoff series.
Right.
I'm sure, of course, he's gonna get 20, 10 assists in the play. Like he's gonna do normal LeBron shit, but in the key moments,
He said, has Jordan ever had a playoff series that he did not show up in? And what I'm saying is to sit there and act like LeBron couldn't shoot 30 shots, force the issue.
nah, yeah.
and
If we're
average
talking about
12
that,
points.
that's
why
not.
I said
That don't matter. That don't matter. I'm not
Right.
talking about.
Because
LeBron
Jordan
could
had
have
6
lost the wrong way too.
championships playing the same exact way his entire career. 6
No,
championships.
LeBron-
He never
well,
played different.
See,
He didn't change up. He didn't have to go get his jump
We
shot
all
changed.
we
He
all
just got better
agreed
players on
though.
the team, and he won 6 championships.
We already all
Exactly.
agreed that they're different players though, so we can't really talk.
Yes.
We can't really
LeBron
talk
got
about it
better
in that
players on the
stance.
team and played worse.
No. I'm under agreement with King that bad basketball teams are not going to win a chip with Michael Jordan. Like we know this.
That's a fact.
And that's a fact. And that's cool. I'm cool to live on that grade because he's just a dominant fucking scorer, like scoring at will. Like he will win a basket. It's past Jordan the Rock. It's past Jordan the Rock, and let him actually win the game for you. So we understand that. But in the essence of, and that's why I think personally, even though I didn't get to watch him play, I would say that is more important. When we're talking about the GOAT conversation, I think that is more important than a player that's going to make everybody on his team better. I just think when it comes to winning championships, the guy that is going to score in those key moments, the guy that's going to take over the basketball game, it don't matter if there's 2 people on him, 3 people on him, he's going to pull up and put the ball in the basket. That is Michael Jordan.
It's funny that you make that point when LeBron got more of playoff game winners than Michael Jordan do. A lot more, but
I gotta see more stats on that. I gotta see games played in the playoffs. I gotta see more stats.
It is.
I gotta see more stats.
He just got more. He just does. He just does.
No. That's cool. That could be true, but it could also be true that LeBron has played more playoff games than Michael Jordan. So I need to see these numbers. I need to see these stats. So like that, there's definitely some omission there. There's definitely some omission there.
What I'm trying to teach you is though that the Bulls was winning a little more convincingly than LeBron-led teams were in the playoffs. So that's why it never.
And when the Bulls came to play,
that's why a lot.
And we can't ignore the playoff record. We can't ignore the finals record. We can't ignore it. LeBron James has lost more finals than he's won finals. We can't ignore that.
I really wanted to like leave my point and then next month, like
see you next month, King.
We could, but like you brought up this topic, and it's one of the most heated topics in all of sports.
I know, but I'm just saying, like we try to compare the losses, which is that's just the most funniest thing ever to me.
It's not funny. It's not funny. Like it's really bad. It's really bad though. Like it's really bad.
I've already had this, especially
like we got Batman thinking he's never lost the finals.
This is the point.
LeBron after the Heat series.
There's no way I thought he never. Oh, the Yankees.
I brought this up off air plenty of times, right? When you talk about LeBron's the time LeBron was playing versus when Jordan was playing. When you look up the dynasties that was in LeBron's era versus the dynasties that was in Jordan's era, everybody like to say, "Oh, Jordan beat Charles Barkley, he beat Patrick Ewing, he beat Karl Malone, he beat this guy."
God, here we go with this bullshit.
I'm just telling you.
No. The truth is the East was weak for LeBron. Cakewalk to the finals every year. That's the truth.
Go.
No, and Jordan didn't. Like the only formidable team in the East.
The teams were way better. The teams that Jordan had to face to get to the finals was way better. Batman will tell you that. Batman will tell you that.
Those East teams were not crazy. Those East teams were not crazy.
Forget about Jordan. Who's more go to
I'm not saying. Well, King, I'm not saying they're crazy. I'm not saying they're crazy. They're better than.
Like just because LeBron made the East look that easy, don't mean that they was scrubs over there.
Wait, hold on.
Kobe Bryant or LeBron James in a championship game. If Kobe was playing with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade and Kobe, would they have lost $6? Now that's the start right there. Now, see, everybody want to always say, "Do you Michael Jordan as the GOAT?" But they always leave out Kobe.
Batman, let me ask you a question. Batman,
Kobe get lost in between there because to me, LeBron got to pass Kobe to even you compare LeBron to.
We do got to move on. We do got to move on. We really do. We'll save this for next month.
We'll come back to it.
We'll come back to next month. That was fun. That was fun.
Kobe.
Hey, real quick, hold on, real quick. E-Glock, you there?
Yeah, what's up?
Now we'll get his take on the next one.
No, it's not a take. Relax. We gotta relax. LeBron or Jordan?
Oh man.
Next one.
Just answer the question.
Just say a name. Just say a name.
I'm big on LeBron because he could do everything. But like, if y'all comparing like playoffs,
all right,
and like,
see.
Yeah, man.
Next one. We got the baby face. We got the baby face assassin versus Magic Johnson. Who we got? Steph Curry and Magic Johnson.
Oh, come on, man. Let me go first.
This is the question. Best point guard
Magic
ever
Johnson.
play.
And this one's got to be a lot sooner. We still got 2 more topics, so.
I mean, we can end the show. We can always save those topics.
One
Because
thing,
That's true. That's true. That's true.
We're not talking about this one no more like we are the LeBron and Jordan.
it came up today. It came up today on another show. I'm not even say first take. Michael Jordan called Stephen A. Smith. No, he didn't call him. He texted him. And Michael Jordan don't like none of his business out in the street. He texted Stephen A. Smith 4:30 in the morning. Today, this morning, and said, anytime they want to bring out who's the best point guard that ever played, Magic Johnson hands out. He said Steve Curry is the best shooter that ever played the game. He didn't try to diss Steph Curry. He said, but Magic was the best point guard that he ever played against, ever. That was this morning. This wasn't last week, 2 years ago, when he beat him. That was this morning.
That's Jordan's opinion. Okay, that's Jordan's opinion.
I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Steph, because you could say Magic Johnson's the best point guard of all time, but I think Steph Curry's the best point guard of all time without touching the basketball. Like,
he's a two guard.
Just
that don't mean a two guard.
The amount of focus that the teams have to have on Steph Curry literally makes everybody wide open on the basketball court. Like, the amount of focus that they have on Steph Curry at that 3-point range.
They swing it. They play.
But we're not talking about who's the best point guard in the NBA. We're talking about who's the best player.
I mean,
that's Curry.
They're both point guards. See, and that's why because the conversation out there in the sports world, if you missed it, it was who's the best point guard, and that's why.
Then Magic Johnson. Then Magic Johnson.
Not a pure point guard.
That Magic Johnson.
They both play the position, so it's a
valid
question.
It's Magic
Steph
Johnson.
Curry's more of a dominant player.
I thought you just meant who was the best player overall. No, it's definitely Magic Johnson.
No, point guard.
Whatever you want. When you log in the player's name before the game start, where is Steph Curry's name? Is it next to PG? Yes or no?
Yeah, that doesn't matter
next
though.
To PG? Yes. That does matter, because let's not act like he still don't average 7 assists a game. So on top of everything, and this is my point. When you talk about when Steph Curry don't have the ball in his hands, Steph Curry is facilitating.
That's what I was trying to say. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Steph Curry is facilitating without having the basketball physically in his hands.
Yeah,
because he's the reason why the offense is how it is. Whether he got the ball in his hands or don't have the ball in his hands, the reason why the offense is so hard to stop is because he's on the floor. So he's if it makes sense to people out there, he's facilitating the offense without the ball actually having to be in his hands.
That's exactly what I was saying. That's exactly word for word what I was saying.
If it makes sense to people, Steph Curry is facilitating the offense without actually having the basketball in his hands. And when you consider, I just rather have a guy who could make my offense run wild without having to touch the basketball.
He did the same thing. Michael Jordan did
versus a guy who is also obviously absolutely amazing, who needs the basketball in his hand to be effective. Like, needs to. He cannot be effective without the basketball in his hand. Steph Curry can be effective with or without the basketball in his hand.
He got 5 championships. 5. That being said, Curry went down. Magic was a rookie. Just won the national championship against Larry Bird. Michigan State against Indiana State.
Let's also be fair, though. Let's also be fair for this.
And the next year, as a rookie, the top player, Kareem, went down. As a rookie, he's still the only rookie that won MVP, rookie of the year, everything. He played center on defense and point guard on offense. Steph Curry, because he don't touch the ball and because he makes everybody better. Magic does the same thing. Michael Cooper, y'all again came like you told Gator. You got to know the game of basketball before you could say what Steph Curry does. Steph Curry is a different era, different style. He's not a point guard. Just say he's a whatever.
I say he's a point guard, man. Like, bro,
He's a point guard, but that's not his job. His job is because they so scared. You know why Jordan
the point guard position has changed a lot.
That's what I'm saying. So we can't get over the fact that a point guard so are we just gonna forever be stuck on the idea that a point guard is a guy that has to have if the guy don't have the basketball in his hands, he's not a point guard. Are we just gonna be stuck on that forever?
No, those are just the positions on the court.
Yeah, then change the name of point guard. Then change it.
No, I just don't think. It's just the names of the positions. Are we gonna sit here and say Jokic isn't doing the same thing?
Okay, so and this is what Gator tried to do earlier. So open that door then. Let's open that door real quick, and we can carry this on to the end, Gator. That's fine. I mean, if we want to get to that other topic.
What I'm saying, let's
open that door. Who's better, Steph or Magic? Period. Period.
If it's period, I'ma say Steph. If we're talking about traditional point guards, how we're projecting how a point guard should play, then I would say Magic. But if we're talking about just best player overall, I think because Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time, that opens up on the floor is just as good as what Magic Johnson was doing on the floor.
Let's Magic lost championship. Let's go there. Magic only lost
Magic lost 4 championships. Batman, don't do that.
But he took the one I care about was in Chicago. But
because the point guard position is any position can play the point guard position now.
Okay, yeah, we're past that. We're past that.
Joker did it.
Exactly. Draymond does it sometimes. Draymond's more the traditional. Draymond's more the traditional point guard on that team.
Why
are you stuck on this? We moved. That's fine. I want to know who are you taking? Batman can take this Glock. You can take this Love Blind.
I answered it.
Who are you taking? Glock or Love Blind? Who you taking? Batman, Steph or Magic? Blind. Y'all didn't. You can go.
I'm taking Steph Curry.
You taking Steph Curry?
Question though to these.
Steph Curry is the more dominant player. I just feel like Magic Johnson and the NBA had a way better team than Steph Curry.
Well, he did. We know that.
Way better.
How can we say that though? Wait. How can we say that though?
72 games?
72 wins, best team of all time apparently. So I don't know, but go ahead.
No, that's in that
the best player on the team.
Did they lose to LeBron? Did they lose?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Magic had the better team. Go ahead, Love.
There's a lot of reasons they lost that series. That has nothing to do with the roster.
Hold on, go ahead, Love. Go ahead,
Dennis, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I was saying that Magic Johnson had a better team. And Steph Curry, he's just more of a dominant player. He won 73 games. He won championships over LeBron James, who y'all arguing could be the best player ever. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't supposed to be this player. The short man, 6'3", skinny. He wasn't supposed to be this player.
That's great.
Now we're talking about him being top 10 of all time. Greatest shooter of all time. He's over Magic Johnson, man.
Shooter.
E-Glock, who you taking? If you had to take a player, Steph got 4.
How many Magic got?
4.
5.
Oh, okay. How many national championships Steph won?
He went to the Elite 8 with Davidson. He went to the Elite 8 with Davidson, not with UNC Tar Heels, the best college team.
What was Mr. State back then?
I'm just saying.
Back then.
I mean, or Michigan State. The Spartans was still a Spartan. It's still a state school. It's still a state school at the end of the day.
That was about Georgetown back in the day, huh? Georgetown, huh?
E-Glock. E-Glock, if you had
What
to take one,
Villanova do to them?
who are you taking, E-Glock?
I'm taking Magic. I like Magic, man. I know he had a better. I understand that he had a better team than Steph, but like he changed the game. Like he made the game like super flashy in the '80s. Like the NBA was
NBA
like
was
kind of
about to be
boring,
eliminated.
like low key boring. And then like he saved the NBA and made it what it is
Saved
today.
him and Larry
So-
Bird saved the
Him and
NBA.
Larry Bird.
That
Him and
was
Larry
what we talking about
Yeah,
basketball.
him and Larry Bird.
If it
Yeah,
wasn't for Magic and
Larry
Larry
Bird was a
Bird.
dog. Yeah,
That would be
But
talking
Magic
about.
That rivalry
Let me ask you a question.
that rivalry
let me
was
ask you a
different.
question. Are you making your point from a bigger than basketball perspective, or are you saying like on the court, who would you take just as a player versus because that sound like a bigger than basketball kind of a point. Just what player would you take as a because on your team?
I would still take Magic. I would still take Magic because if you try and pick like a starting five, you can still pick a bunch of other players that he could facilitate the ball to, and it'll still be crazy. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
King, but the point you're not making, hold up, love. The point you're not making is though, King. Now let's go. Who would have? We knew Magic was going to be a good ball player. We didn't know he was going to be a great ball player. We never knew Steph Curry coming out of Davidson was going to be a great basketball player. Now let's go there. If they was on the same board, Davidson, Michigan State just won national championship. Who would you pick?
Magic.
Who would you pick, Gator? Who would you pick? Who my man would pick?
But then that's that.
And
Then
then
who is Tom
who
Brady?
accomplished more than he did. They matched him up. Today. They put it down. Matched up as scoring this and that, blah, blah, blah. Magic, at the same, for instance, 5 topics, Magic beat him 3 out of 5. Now, you go 10 topics, Magic beat him 7 out of 10.
Yeah, but see, and this is the part of basketball that I was trying to get at that doesn't get statted. All of the players around you that get off without you even having the basketball in your hand, that doesn't get statted because everybody's focused on you. Now you got other players wide open because everybody's focused on you. That's an unstattable stat.
Clay Thomas got to have the ball in his hand. Clay Thompson.
No.
He's a catch and shoot. That's catch and shoot though.
You're arguing my point. You're arguing my point because the focus is so much on Steph.
Defense is focused on Steph Curry.
Like Klay Thompson is just wide open all the time.
He does Magic Johnson stuff without touching the basketball. That's what we're saying.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Steph Curry does his own magic on a basketball court without having the basketball in his hands. His magic is I'm just me being on this basketball court is going to make my entire team better, period. But Magic did a great job making his entire team better with the ball in his hands. So it is a tough conversation. Somebody wants to make a closing point on that?
Magic makes all his players better. He made Byron Scott a superstar. Byron Scott. He made Klay Thompson father. 2 championships. Klay Thompson got the Lakers. Who's Klay Thompson? Who's Klay Thompson's father? What's his first name? He won. Don't you know Klay Thompson won 2 championships with the Lakers? His name was Mike Thompson. That's right. Center.
Yeah, Steph Curry's so good they don't even play with
Klay
a center.
Thompson's father. Magic made everybody better. And you gonna be a bum, this, that, Magic. Now you can say about Curry, yes, King, you're 100% right. Because they so much, but once the league caught up with him, once they caught up with Curry, did they win back-to-back championships? No, they didn't. They were bummed out it, and they let
he made it back. Remember, Golden State had a couple down years, and then they came back, won another one just recent. So
the COVID, I don't count COVID.
It wasn't COVID. It wasn't COVID. 2 years ago. They beat Boston. They beat Boston.
That was just like last year, so like that.
They beat Boston.
But we won't get to the next. What was the next topic going to be?
It was the Johnathan Taylor one, but we can end with this one. This one be cool. Now we can end with this one. Okay.
Thank you for everybody that Inf, thank you so much, Inf. I heard that you'll be on next time. True indeed. The game was 1 game. So Thank you. He said Magic won a chip by himself. He can take over the game.
That's right.
This is that because that was obviously a hard one because one makes his teammates better with the ball, one makes his teammates better without the ball. It's very hard, but it's just for me. I just the idea that other players can possess the basketball because one guy doesn't have to touch the basketball to impact the game seems more efficient as a coach, just from a coach's perspective, thinking as a coach. And I think that's being selfish as a coach because as a coach, you want control, but Magic, when you got a player like Magic on your team, you have zero control. He's doing everything for you. So Steph Curry just for me allows me to be more of a coach because I actually have to, set things up, make things, hard to guard and stuff like that. But anyway, I mean, any and we got 3 minutes, but we don't have to take it. But any closing remarks on this one?
Atlanta, come lay down.
No closing remarks. Okay. Most said Magic, right? Or Lebron said Steph. Gator said, who did you say, Gator?
I said Steph. I agreed with you.
Steph. We got Batman and Glock, E-Glock. Let's remember that. Probably clip that and post that. They got Magic, and Michael Jordan apparently also has Magic. He was very offended by Stephen A. talking about Steph being in the same breath as Magic, but that's a good conversation. Good conversation. Yeah, everybody, God bless y'all, man. Enjoy the rest of y'all evening. Thank y'all for coming to the show yet again. Today was a good show. It was a lot of people.
Gator.
Love blind.
We'll see you week 3. We'll see you
Matt,
week
do
3.
your Giants up.
Everybody,
I'll see you both week 3.
Anybody who likes fantasy football, we have a fantasy football draft going on Sunday that we're going to show live on the stream. So definitely come through for that if you love fantasy football. That's going to be a great one. Everybody, thank y'all for showing up, for coming through, being on the show. If you wasn't on the show, get on the show next time. Inf, peace. Thank you for talking. Deuces. All right, Pop, E-Glock.
Yo, stay up.
A few. Gator.
Later.